Travis Kalanick steps down as the CEO of Uber, the co-founder and CEO of the ride-hailing giant, handing in his resignation yesterday after shareholder revolt following several recent scandals. As first reported by the New York Times, Kalanick's exit comes just hours after 5 of the company's biggest shareholders demanded in a letter that he resign immediately, arguing that the company needed a change in leadership. Last week, remember, Uber announced that Kalanick would be taking an indefinite leave of absence, in part to grieve the sudden death of his mother in a recent boating accident. In a statement, Kalanick says this, quote, "I love Uber more than anything in the world, and at this difficult moment in my personal life, I've accepted the investors' request to step aside so that Uber can go back to building rather than be distracted with another fight." Uber's board of directors praised his decision, writing in part, quote, "This is a bold decision and a sign of his devotion and love for Uber. By stepping away, he's taking the time to heal from his personal tragedy while giving the company room to fully embrace this new chapter in Uber's history." Now, the move leaves the San Francisco startup valued at nearly $70 billion without a leader, without a CEO, CFO, and COO. Pretty incredible news here, Kevin Kelly. Here's the founder stepping aside.
Yeah, and if people have been watching the show, we called for this last Tuesday, the Friday before that, because the problem that you're having here is that they can't raise another dollar as long as he's in power and in the position. So the reason you saw all of these investors talk about leaving him is because they need money. They burned $900 million last quarter. The quarter before that, $700 million. So $1.6 billion that they've already spent. They need to raise more capital to sustain their business model and grow going forward. And no one will do that as long as he's in power, because look at the scandal after scandal after scandal that he had under his leadership and the people around him. So there's no way that they could go public with him in power. There's no way they can raise another dollar with him in power. So this is a good thing, and we've called for this because it's a top-down situation for culture at Uber.
Who replaces him, do you think? Is this an insider? What do you think, Michael?
I think there's got to be a bit of a fresh start, and I look at the Venn diagram, and I think it's got to be an adult who gets in charge here. Given the culture that's existed there, I think it would also be good if there was a strong female CEO that came in, somebody who would shake up the power structure there. Kevin and I are Wall Street guys, and people talk about how Wall Street trading desks are locker rooms. I read the stuff out of Silicon Valley at companies like Uber, and I just blanch. I can't believe what I'm reading, and again, I'm from the Wall Street culture, and I'm reading that.
Like that memo that he sent out recently, Kalanick, which I think probably was the nail in the coffin.
Look at what happened in the board meeting with Mr. Bonderman. God bless him.
Yeah,
it's egregious. This can't be happening. This needs to be undone. So I'm thinking there needs to be strong female leadership. Someone like I'm just throwing names out there. Someone like Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube right now. I saw Angela Ahrendts this morning. She runs a big part of the customer experience at Apple right now.
Why would they give up those jobs? Those are great jobs.
That's the whole thing. It's a stretch. Like, who wants a challenge? Who's bored, so to speak?
I would say probably money and prestige. To turn around Uber is a big task, but I think they're going to get broad support and get a long leash to do it. And so, as he was talking about, yes, a woman would be great, especially an outsider, because there's been pervasive problems inside the system. And one of my picks actually is Amy Hood. She's the CFO of Microsoft. She has done a tremendous job. Wall Street is very familiar with her. She actually has worked in the investment banking division, the capital markets at Goldman Sachs. She has done a tremendous job at Microsoft. She knows the tech area, and I just threw out Jack Dorsey too, because why not? I mean, he's running Twitter, he's running Square. I'm being tongue-in-cheek, but this is one of those things that Silicon Valley needs to look outside of Silicon Valley, and Amy Hood is actually from the Midwest. She's from Nashville. Yeah. She's up in Seattle.
Good idea. So the venture capital firm Benchmark was one of the 5 shareholders that demanded Kalanick's resignation. One of its partners, Bill Gurley, tweeted on the announcement. Here's what he said: "There will be many pages in the history books devoted to Travis. Very few entrepreneurs have had such a lasting impact on the world." So talk about that impact that Kalanick has had on Silicon Valley.
Tremendous impact. If you look at what he's done, there have been a bunch of Me Too products, and that is showing how visionary his product and his idea was. Think about it. I mean, we know Lyft is out there. We know there's a bunch of other different independent ones in different cities, and so it just shows you, and it's the highest and best efficient uses of resources here in the United States. Think about it. It's like people don't even need to own cars anymore. They can use Uber. And you're seeing GM follow. They're trying to do automated driving. Same with Google. So you're seeing everybody go to where he was in front.
He didn't just change Silicon Valley. I mean, he changed the world. He changed the way we get around. I'm a millennial. I haven't taken a cab in over 2 years. So even though these issues have really tarnished Uber's reputation, I hope they get new leadership in there, because I'm going to keep using Uber, and I know all my friends will too.
Yeah,
so.
but look at all the others, the sort of wannabes. I mean, Lyft has done very well as well.
Better for us, because it drives down prices. I love the competition.
You've got a new one recently that Prince Al-Waleed just invested in, the Uber of the Middle East. I mean, this is a trend that has taken off across the world.